place to be. Analyze the players and the team. Keep a great company in the stream.
It's a Murali End. Welcome to the show. We're here when you're high. We're here when you're low. Some days you're happy, some days you wanna when happy it's we, when mad it's them. It's the same place, Murali End. Sri Lanka cricket we gon' represent. So tell a friend.
Welcome to Murali End, Sri Lanka fans. My name is Mark Machado. I'm joined by the Professor of Cricketology, Dominic Machado. I'm in London, Dominic's in Boston. This show is brought to you by Kid Rated. We are discussing Sri Lanka's quite tragic loss, in a way, to Bangladesh, the first game of the Super Fours. There's a lot to talk about here because there were some good bits for Sri Lanka. There was a lot of very mediocre bits as well. Just to let you know a little bit of the plan of what we're going to be doing. So me and Dominic will have a little chat for a little while, talk through some bits. Then I've got a Bangladeshi journalist coming
live?
on. Yes, we are live.
It says go live and it said schedule there.
Oh no, I think we're live.
Guys, can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Let us know if are we live, guys? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? For me, it says we're live.
Who says we're live?
For me and my thing. Hold on, let me just check on.
It
You're
doesn't say
live.
I'm
Then
Oh,
it
you're
says
live
we're
and
live. This
audible.
is
Okay.
live. Guys,
Okay.
sorry, I thought we
Okay,
were.
now we're live. Okay, good.
I thought we were having the same kind of nightmare Sri Lanka's fifth bowling option was today. Anyway, right.
That's where the fifth bowler was stuck in.
Yeah, stuck in the middle of the internet. So what our plan is we're going to have a chat about the game. Then I've got Tawhid Qureshi coming on to have a chat about it from a kind of Bangladeshi point of view,
Mark,
which seemed like a good idea.
Invited him for this.
It seemed like a good idea earlier in the day, and then we'll open it up to you guys as well. So bear with us; we will get to you guys if you want to leave your comments in beforehand. But come and console us. We say this is group therapy. We're going to get it all out there. Dominic, Sri Lanka made 168 for 7 today. Bangladesh made 169 for 6 in 19.5 overs. So kind of. I said at the end in our WhatsApp chat, I was like, I reckon it's about 10 to 15 runs short. In hindsight,
that's about right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, but I kind of wish it wasn't. And actually, in hindsight, I kind of think the pacing of our runs, we'll get to our bowling, we'll get to the way our team was split as well. But I think that let's talk about our batting first almost. Patton comes in, makes 22 of 15. Kusal comes in, makes 34 of 25. Dustin Charnock makes 64 of 37. Charth makes 21 of 12. The kind of rest all lose, all committed, Wadi and Dunath kind of are there for the last kind of over and a bit. So it's kind of always not worth talking about them. We need to talk a little bit about Kamal Mishra and Kusal Jadhav Pereira, because Kamal scores 5 and 11 and Kusal Pereira scores 16 of 16 balls. It feels to me that might have been the moment where those 15 or 20 runs that we might have needed, 10 to 15 runs, weren't quite got. And then, on top of all that, we start to bowl, and the thing we've talked about this show all the way through is we're going in with kind of 16 good overs. There's a fifth bowling option. If one of our bowlers has a bad day, and I felt today maybe two of our bowlers arguably had moments of being bad, then it's kind of game over. And that's exactly what happened for us. But let's not take anything away from Bangladesh, because a few of their batters batted supremely well today, and showed us what we were kind of missing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I've had my little rant about what I think went wrong. Tell us what you think went wrong today.
Where do I start? I guess the place I'll start is Kamil Mishara's knock there, because he gets 5 from 11. Okay, I get he's a slow starter, but he just couldn't get anything going. And I think his inability to score really cost us 2 wickets, his own and Kusal Mendis's. Right. So I think Mendes felt the pressure and took on Mehdi Hassan, which he probably wouldn't have done. Right. We saw what he did against Afghanistan if he felt like the runs were flowing, but he felt like runs were only coming from his end and felt the need to do that. So Mishara has shown some good promise, but and I told this to Mark off air and I tweeted it. At the end of the day, a fifth bowler plays every single match. The seventh batter, sometimes they come in, but the fifth bowler plays every single match. So you need to account for those overs and saying we're going to just chuck an over at Kamindu, who had not bowled a single ball in this tournament. He hadn't been used. When we went to the fifth bowler with the spinner, we went to Charith. That to me is not good enough of a plan. It's not okay. Wella is a promising cricketer. Shout out to him for playing the game. I don't think you can rely on him right now as a second spin option. He can be a third spin option. He can be that fifth bowler. I think if he's your fifth bowler, you're okay. But dropping, I just want to note, who do we not have in this side? We don't have Mahesh Deekshana. We don't have Eshan Malinga. We don't have Matisha Patirana, and we don't have Dilshan Madhushanka. Those are guys that are either sitting at home or on the bench that could easily be in this side. And that is unacceptable when you have resources like that. If we didn't have a deep bowling crew, absolutely. Yeah. There are excuses you can make, but we have the bowling attack to do it. And Sanjay Mandraker said it very plainly on air. This looks like a completely toothless attack. And Tushara got us one wicket, but then Saif got us, poured him off his length. And we didn't get two from him in the power play. And it was like, oh no, what do we do now? So the idea of not having that plan for the fifth bowler, and I'll say this, we've had a fifth bowler problem every single match. The first match against Bangladesh, we let get out of that because we bowled that fifth bowler quota of overs. Hong Kong took advantage of it. Even Afghanistan did. So even though we won those games, it was still an issue there. We should have bowled out all of those sides for much less than what we actually did. And I think we can say that fifth bowler strategy has to be taken more seriously. And this was a pitch. This was a good pitch. It was a good pitch to bat on. We weren't getting assistance. We had to be tight. We had to be accurate. And you cannot rely on part-timers to do that for you.
Yeah, I just think the way we're set up, especially if you look at a team like Bangladesh who play us so much, right? I've expressed a lot that I really have no love for Bangladesh cricket because of this rivalry that's been created for us. But when they play against us so much, I mean, we played against them, 5 days ago. They know what our bowlers are going to do. We know what they're going to do. They know what we're going to do. It's a blessing and a curse, right? How much we play against each other. They knew that they could what kind of lengths to expect from our main bowlers. They knew someone like Kamindu that isn't going to be, he's somebody you turn to if you need something extra. He shouldn't be the kind of sixth option. He should be the seventh or eighth option. I just, we've talked about it for a long time. I agree with the whole, your fifth bowler is definitely going to bowl. Your seventh batter isn't necessarily going to bat. I think actually our batting is maybe not at the kind of strike rates of some of the bigger teams in the world at the moment, but it's fairly consistent, right? We know. I kind of feel like, okay, yeah, there's going to be the odd powerhouse happening now and then, the occasional collapse, but like it feels like it's kind of doing all right. You look at this and you're like, most of our players haven't really had a good go at batting at the moment. So yeah, I just think we're getting the configuration wrong, and it's painful for us or for me because I think there's so much talent out there. Pathirana could have had an extra 8 overs. The other thing I will say, right, is there's 2 things I wanted to talk about with the Dinith Malalagay kind of, I'm going to call it situation. Firstly, I'm undeniably a fan of his, and I think that he has the ability and potential and will become an absolute world-class cricketer.
100%.
And win us games. Secondly, I just feel desperately bad for him. And also, I just felt, because he was coming back, there was absolutely no way they could drop him from the side today, right?
Yeah, and I don't think he should have. I just think he should be playing as a fifth bowler, right? Like, I think there's a difference between saying, okay, we're going to rely on you to tie up an end. And I think the other thing, and this has made me upset, is that they have mismanaged him. He has been a good player for the last 2 years. There were many times where we could have put him into the side, brought him into the side, and used him, whether it's in one-day cricket, whether it's in T20 cricket, and we have refused to do so. And then you're putting him in this ultimate pressure, 2 pressure situations. First, that Afghanistan game where you're giving him the 20th over. And then he flies back after his father's death to come play this match. We got to give the kid a chance. You know, like we had just had a series against Zimbabwe with no stakes. Play him. Absolutely play him. And I think he's going to be a gun player, a great player, but we're also misusing him. We're using him as a 9th batter and a second spinner. Why not use him as a why not use him differently? Bangladesh is flexible with their lineup, right? We saw what's his name? Mahedi come in at 4 against us in the first match. Then he was batting at 8. They're flexible. They change their plans. And to me, what's so frustrating about this team is you can see this can be a competitive side. It can be a very good side. They've got awesome openers. Dawson was fantastic. Asalanka looked really good today as well. Nuwan Tushara has been, he didn't have his best day today, but he's been so good with the new ball. Chamira looks great. Hasaranga's been bowling well, right? He's been bowling really defensively, but it's those what we're putting so much risk on those 9th, 10th, and 11th spot in our team, in our squad, that our best players' good performances cannot be taken advantage of, and that's frustrating. Sorry, I'm getting full uncle mode right now, but as you guys can tell,
that's all right. This
frustrated.
is group therapy. We will be opening this up to everyone else to come on and have a chat. So think about what you want to talk to us about. I'm just grateful Liverpool won today as well. Like otherwise, I mean, I could have had a double punch.
Oh God, those are the worst, right? Those are the worst.
When your 2 teams lose in the same moment. There's a few kind of interesting comments coming in. Ruan said, "Was a good loss. Bangladesh played exceptionally well. We made a few mistakes which could improve and come back stronger." I think so, right? I think that's the kind it's kind of that's the frustrating thing. It's when we lost to Zimbabwe and we were 80 all out. When we lost to Bangladesh, a few weeks ago, the games we've lost recently, we've been totally outplayed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's frustrating. Where it's like it just feels close. Also, I do think one of our problems is that we're just so set up to chase, and if you put us in to bat first, we're a little bit out at sea. I wanted to talk a little bit about our openers because I thought they opened with all the right intent, set us up really well. We kind of lost our way a little bit. I think the margins here between the 2 sides are quite fine now, right? So there's a lot of questions coming in about Kamal Mishra as well.
I was going to say, just a stat to as we get onto this issue. If you actually compare the 2 sides, we scored 102 runs in boundaries, but our dot ball percentage was up to 38%. Bangladesh was only at 27%. So that is the difference. We hit more big shots. We scored more runs in boundaries, but we didn't convert those 3 overs between, say, 6 and 10, or the 4 overs between 6 and 10 is where we kind of hurt ourselves.
It's interesting because they're clearly getting better at hitting boundaries. Sri Lanka, I'm talking about, and we're clearly kind of getting better at rotating the strike. There's something kind of building there, but there was a point today where we just kind of Camille and Kusal Pereira just dried up. Teachner Praveen has said Kamala has an issue. I'm not sure if that's meant to be spelt Kamala. Has an issue, yes, versus the better teams it's showing. These very soft shots. We saw 2 or 3 of them today as well. Mm-hmm. See, my take is, because you pointed this out in our chat as well, Dom, and he's basically been in the game that he's been in the team for 5 games since his kind of return to the side. He's had 2 good innings and 3 kind of lackluster innings, right? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For me, that's not a large enough sample size. I reckon he should be in the team against Pakistan, and he should. unless something majorly goes wrong, being the team against India as well.
Who are you dropping, Mark?
At this point, I'm dropping Kusal Pereira just because I think he's too inconsistent. We know what he can do. He's a great player. I love him to bits. And, you know, I kind of feel like Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania facing Ric Flair. It's been like, I love you, man. But I think at this point, your time is over. He's just inconsistent, Dom. Where I think it'd be harsh to drop Kamal Mishra at this stage in his career and looking how long he can possibly be around the side. These are all great. In some ways, this is it's great that Sri Lanka has so much depth, right? I still think it goes back to the jeez,
which meaning to kick Bangladesh out.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, I get that. Well.
So Mark, what would you say about bumping Charith up to 3? So this is one thing I've been thinking about, because Charith comes in at 6 today. He played a good hand, but he's a very good batter, and we definitely can use him earlier in the innings. And you remember early in his career, that 2021 World Cup, how much success he had batting at number 3. So imagine you go Patham, Kusal, Charith, your three best batters all the way at the top. And then you go KJP, Dawson, Kamindu, right? I think one thing that's interesting is that Charith has kept on saying we're playing with 3 all-rounders, yet some of those all-rounders don't do anything.
Yeah. It's really interesting how some players are just kind of drifting out of the game for us, right? And I think we need to kind of work out how to get. We're not necessarily getting the best out of everyone. It was funny for me today seeing Hasaranga bowl without Teeks, basically, because we're so used to watching the two of them take kind of 6 overs in the middle of the game together, almost.
And you know, Mark, it fundamentally changed the way that Hasaranga bowled.
Yeah,
he couldn't hunt for wickets. And he was bowling more defensively. It was the same thing in the Afghanistan game. And teams can just play him out, right? They can just play him out and say, okay, if we only get 22 off of his 4 overs, we'll take it.
Should we get our guest up? While I'm trying to do that, I need to move things around live. I just want to let you guys know that we have a Instagram page, which I'm quite keen to try and fill up. So if you can kind of fill it up, that'd be great. There we go. Toi Qureshi, thank you for joining us today, bro. How's it going? How are you feeling after your win against your dearest rivals?
Well, yeah, thanks for having me on again, Mark. I was in 2 minds whether or not I would be allowed on today, but yeah, I mean, I think I was saying this last time, unexpected win for me today for Bangladesh, a little bit similar-ish to that unexpected win against Afghanistan. I wasn't really expecting them to pull that one out the bag, but yeah, they've managed it, you know. Interestingly, the other day against Afghanistan, they were kind of defending a lowish total, and they did that really well. Today it was the other way around. You know, they decided to bowl first, kind of did all right, but you know, 169 is a stiff target in a crunch game, sharp end of a tournament, under lights. You know, your batting's a little bit fragile as well. So for them to win that by 4 wickets, I know there's a bit of silliness towards the end there. And I think I was saying to you, Mark, I've seen them lose from much better positions than they were in. So take nothing for granted.
What impressed me today about Bangladesh is the way they went about the chase. Is just never losing that kind of intent, which I thought Sri Lanka were definitely guilty of doing through the kind of middle. And the other thing I thought was really impressive was actually your bowling at the death. I mean, I would say Sri Lanka would love a bowler like the Fizz or Taskin Ahmed, but if we did have someone like that, they'd probably be either on the bench or back in Colombo. So yeah, those two things were great today. Were you expecting that from them?
Well, I mean, you know, the Fizz, he's been there, he's done that. It's good to see him kind of hitting his straps again, I suppose. But yeah, he's a master at, you know, he rarely bowls in the power play these days. You know, generally one or two in the middle overs, maybe, yeah, and then sort of two or three right at the depth there. And yeah, he kind of does it time and time again. Did it again today. But yeah, going back to that chase, I agree. I think, you know, it was built around those two innings. Cyphers on with 61, his highest ever T20 international score. I'm not sure if that rubs salt into the wound for you guys, but I mean, just to focus in on him for a second, I mean, he's quite an interesting batter, because for me, you're looking at that top four, he's a weak link, right? He's a bit of a left field pick in the first place. He was kind of drafted into the squad because Bangladesh, I think it was their A team, were playing. There's this tournament. It's such an obscure tournament that takes place in Australia. It's called the Top End Tournament, where basically I think it's Bangladesh A, Pakistan A, and then a load of like big bash academy sides.
Yeah, I saw this. It's in Darwin, isn't it? It's about building out cricket that time of year in Australia.
Exactly, it's in Cairns and Darwin, and all the way up there. So anyway, he was played in that tournament. I think he did all right, and then he kind of gets drafted into the Asia Cup team. So yeah, he's an interesting guy. I think he's 26, going on 27. He's been around for a little while. And for me, I've never really seen him as a T20 player. And I mean, you know, you look at his career stats, they probably bear that out. I think, you know, I've always considered him potentially as a more of a red ball player. But yeah, I mean, fantastic for him to sort of set things up. And then, you know, one of your faves, I know, Mark Towhid Ridoy, coming in middle overs to really kind of force home the issue. But I mean, it was an interesting innings, I thought, from him. I think he was going at about a run a ball in, you know, up to about 20. And I thought he was getting a bit bogged down, particularly against Hasaranga. And I think I was saying to you, Mark, I thought at one stage, you know, both he and potentially Cypher Sun were kind of showing, I thought, a bit too much respect to Hasaranga, and then I think they tried to get after him in that sort of third over where he picked up a couple of wickets there.
See, no, I think they did it the right way, actually, because I think if you're playing Hasaranga, I don't want to give away too many national secrets. What he does is he's going to try and buy your wicket, so you're going to go single, 4, wicket, if you like, or run a double, boundary, wicket. And today, actually, because he didn't have someone on the other bowling team the other side, I think he actually kind of changed the way he bowled a little bit. I also think he changes his speed quite dramatically as well, not just the where he's putting it. And I think that can. And I think actually today he bowled really well. So
he was bowling lollipops. He was really trying to tempt the Bangladeshi batsmen to go for it. Right. I think that was the interesting thing, is he knew they weren't going to go after him because there was no pressure from another bowler. Especially when you bowl someone like Tushara 3 overs, you don't have that many options to go to. And that's where Ridoy let loose. Kamindu Mendes came in and bowled, and boom, he just absolutely, the first 3 balls of that over, that was the chase done and dusted.
I think there was an over maybe from Wellalage before that as well, where for me, the shot of the innings was it almost felt like a bit of a shot in anger, because like I said, it gives about a runner ball up to about 20, and then he just launches one over deep mid wicket. I think it ended up in the top tier of the stand. It was, fantastic shot. And that seemed to kind of really get him going. And then, just kind of kicked on, really.
What do you, in general, make? So I was trying to figure out during the game when I was watching this, I was like, these players play against each other so much, these teams. What do you make of whether or not that's a good or bad thing? And also, what do you make of the rivalry? And can you give us some insight of what people think about Sri Lankan cricket in Bangladesh?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this the other day, weren't we? And I think I heard you say earlier, no love whatsoever for Bangladesh cricket. I feel it's my mission to make you fall in love with Bangladesh cricket, Mark. That's kind of what I'm here for.
So I'll be honest with you, right? I'll let you into a secret. Actually, I have no problems at all with Bangladesh cricket, but I love the rivalry and I want to do everything I can to lean into it. I think, like, for me, I don't know that this is the kind of dirty talk no one wants to talk about, right? But for me, sport is basically a TV program, right? It's entertainment, it's content. And actually, what the job is of everyone who's involved in it, whether you're playing it, whether you're an administrator, whether you're someone like us who's kind of creating content around it, is actually to try and big these things up and create as much drama and intrigue and make people want to watch it as possible, right? There's a world in which not a world. A lot of people, until quite recently, were just like, "Oh, Sri Lanka play Bangladesh the whole time," right? When you hear Australians talk about the kind of Murali Ward debate, right? They always go, "Yeah, well, Murali got a load of wickets against Bangladesh," and I'm like, "Well, Shane Ward got a load of wickets against the really terrible England side. What do you want me to just scrape those wickets off, right?" So I go out to bat for Bangladesh actually quite a lot when I'm not talking about them outside this context, right? And what I'm trying to do is basically make people care about this. So any opportunity I'm ever given, I'm like, this is it. This is bigger than the Ashes. Like, this is crazy. Like, no one was happier in the world. Like, obviously, I wanted Sri Lanka to win, don't understand me. But when that timed out thing happened and it started to get, like, I was getting calls from really parts of the British media I didn't expect to be involved in it, right? There was a moment when I thought Piers Morgan was going to try and get Angelo Matthews on his show to talk about it, right? That's the kind of attention it was attracting. And I was like, that is great for Sri Lankan cricket, and that is great for Bangladesh cricket. That is so in a way, that's kind of great for all of us, right? The more I think the more limelight we can have on this rivalry and the more we can pick it up, the better it is. I think now, actually, and this does annoy me, I think these teams are almost neck and neck. I mean, we saw it today. There is not much between. I think the last 14 times they've played, both sides have now won 7 times each.
Yeah, I think it's 18. 9 and 9.
Is it 9 and 9?
Yeah.
There is nothing between these sides. It's actually amazing. That there's no rivalry like that anywhere else.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, absolutely. A healthy rivalry, absolutely a good thing. But yeah, sorry, going back to what you were saying, I think Piers should have asked Shakib onto his show. He'd have been on there like a flash, no doubt. But
I think it might have been around the time there was nothing like political scandal in the UK, so the space for it must have gone. I can't remember why it didn't happen, but yeah, I know that was something that could have happened.
But yeah, we were talking a bit about the rivalry the other day, weren't we? And yeah, I'm definitely all for it. I think the bit that I kind of have just makes me feel a bit kind of icky is, the sort of the playground stuff kind of annoys me a little bit. The whole nuggin dance and etc. I think we can get rid of that now. I think we're beyond it, right? The rivalry's evolved. The rivalry for me is purely, or should be purely, on cricket terms.
It's so South Asian though that the rivalry has a dance. Like,
it is, but it's not a very good dance either. That's the thing.
But it's accessible.
It's true. It's true. So yeah, for me, and I think this is what's happening, isn't it? Things are evolving now, and that narrative kind of builds and builds. So, for example, Sri Lanka beat Bangladesh, just a week ago, and that was a big deal. But now, Bangladesh have kind of fought back and potentially beaten Sri Lanka in a big game as well. So, yes, I mean, going back to the question, rivalry or perspectives in Bangladesh in terms of the rivalry against Sri Lanka, yeah, it's definitely, I guess it can go two ways, I guess. If you play someone so frequently, you can become a bit sort of blasé about it. But the other way is that, closeness or that frequency can also build more resentment and whatever you want to call it, hostility between the teams.
Toad, there's people lined up to have a chat with us. I'm gonna have to let you go soon. I just want to know one thing though.
Sure.
Do you think that Bangladesh have it in them to get to the final?
Well, I think winning today is huge, right? Winning your first game in the Super Fours is absolutely huge. I mean, let's just forget about India for a second. But basically, my maths is a bit bad, but I reckon if they could beat Pakistan, they're pretty much there. I would think, with 2 wins out of the 3. So yeah, I mean, why not? They seem to be on a roll. I think India is their next game, which might kind of scupper their kind of momentum, if you like, a little bit.
I hate to be in this situation as a Sri Lanka fan. We're waiting for other results now to fall in place. Anyway, Tariq, we're going to let you go. Thank you for joining us. You'll be back on Cricket Smash, possibly during the next Bangladesh game. I have to check the calendar and make sure it all works for everyone, but thanks a lot. Right, I will change the thing around. There we go. And hold on, what have I done now? I am still here. I promise you. No, I take that away. There we go. Get Shabnay back on screen. Shabnay, bro, how's it going?
Thank you guys.
Today. Hey, how's it going? That's the wrong one.
Not a good day, is it?
No.
Yeah, not a good day for us, man. How are you feeling after that game?
Mixed emotions. I know on hindsight we can sit back and talk about the loss, but and different combinations, but the same combination won us a few matches too. In terms of the game per se, I think we lost the game primarily during those middle overs when KJP and Kamil were out there, and also that Kamindu over in the context of the game.
Yeah.
If I purely talk on the concept of the game, and Mark, just to kind of disagree a bit with you, I think KJP should be in there and Kamil is the one. I might get some heat for this, but although Kamil,
can I just add right now? I love it when people come in and disagree with me, man. That's the whole point of this. I'm just a regular muggle who knows nothing about cricket, really, just watches it and and thinks I'm the next Sunith, right? So come on and tell me why I'm wrong. That's what I want.
Yeah, I think because Kamil is definitely a good prospect. With a tournament like the Asia Cup around the corner, you throw him into the team with the Zimbabwe tour, and then after a half century say, okay, you are the man to take. Yeah, because he was in form, you gave him a couple of games. Now we see that it's not working out. But if you ask me, the 2 half centuries he scored, he gave chances right at the start on both those innings, right? And if they were taken, then he would have been a failure. He wouldn't have been in the startup line at the beginning of this tournament. So, I mean, I don't want to be the guy that, puts the hook on the guy, but I think Mishara is the one should be out. Tikshana in for him. And I think Dunit or Chamika, one of the two, as the all-rounders. That, I think, with this squad is a solid bowling attack as well. Because you have, if Tushara or if Chamira gets hit at the beginning, you have Chamika to come in. Chamika is also very good with the new ball. People don't talk about him too much because he just comes and wiggles it a bit there. But he's kept it quiet at the start. Not towards the end, but at the start, he's good at keeping it quiet. Sometimes gets a few wickets too. So, but, I mean, those are things the team will have to work with. But I definitely think KJP moving up to 3, Charit 4, Dasun or Kamindu, depending on if it's a right or a left-hander out there, coming in at 5 and 6. Wani, Chamika or Dunit, whoever, and then Tikshana, Chamira and one would be the best 11 out of the squad that we have at the moment.
Yeah, I think that especially so, Shabney, I agree with you because I don't think they're going to swap in one of the batters for an out-and-out bowler. I don't think
Yeah.
they're going to go, okay, let's bring in Patirana. If they're going to bring in Patirana, it's going to be for one of the spinners, which will probably be Walalage. But I think when you have cricketers like Walalage and Chamaka Karunaratne, you have a unique opportunity to both lengthen your batting lineup and to bowl well and to find things. And you're right about Chamaka, because I think one place where we've kind of been lacking is in that power play over, that 5th, 6th over spot, right? So if you want to give Tushara 3 up front, which I'm generally a fan of, and then reserve Chamura a little bit, then that who's going to bowl that 6th over? You don't want Shanika to do it. And then if you have Shanika as well, you have so many different options depending on what the pitch is doing. So my thought is you need to bring in Thikshana, and you need to bring in one of the all-rounders. So I think those are those are the changes that I would make. So Wani, Thikshana, Thushara, and Chamura always play, and then depending on the circumstances and who you're playing, you think about who that 5th bowler / all-rounder is.
And I think they came in to advise this guy who Dunit a bit too late, because dude was darting in, man. I mean, I'm talking late 90s, early 100s pace for a spinner on a wicket that's gripping. And you look at Wani bowling at 80, 83 and getting that flight, and these guys were finding it difficult to get it away. And you would have thought, based on the last match, that he would have learned his lesson about darting the ball in and getting hit. And he was doing pretty much the same thing today. And he got hit. And that's where, I mean, on a flat track, that works. But on a track that is gripping a little bit and it's giving a little bit for the spinner, they need to flight that ball. They need to give that ball the opportunity to get some revs out of it, right? And that was not happening there today. And that kind of killed it a bit.
Do you know what kind of the thing that worries me is that when Sri Lanka win, I get the feeling, and maybe people will say I'm as much to blame for this as anyone else is, that it's like, right, this is euphoric, we're back, we're going to win everything again, and then when Sri Lanka lose, we catastrophize it, right? We are 2 days ago we beat Afghanistan with a good performance. 10 days ago, or 2 weeks ago, we were all out for 80 against Zimbabwe. Okay. Yeah. So I kind of feel what I think I just feel it's like we know we're making an amazing cake and we've got all the right ingredients. We're just not quite getting everything in the right place at the moment, right? But we go again. As I said this a few weeks, I think last time, I was like, it was never about the Asia Cup. It's about that World Cup, right? And it's about putting the performance in there. South Asia knows what we can do with cricket, and no one around us is taking us not seriously enough. It's about showing the rest of the world how I feel.
Yeah, well, I think the other thing too is, like, I hope it's lessons learned, right? We saw that 20th over, we saw what happened today, and I think what's going to tell if we're going to improve is what do we take from these losses? What do we take from the wins? How do we step back and analyze what we're doing and say, how can we do it better? Because I think one of the things that Charath said today was, okay, I'm going to run through Walalaga's overs more quickly and before the 20th over. So he tried to address that problem. I think now he realized he wasn't bowling with 4 bowlers, he's bowling with 3.5. And when you're bowling with 3.5 bowlers, and defending a target, it becomes very, very hard.
Yeah, and I can't seem to figure out what was I tried to put myself in Charith's shoes, and that coming over, he was not given a ball the entire tournament.
Yeah.
Charith bowled a couple of overs, I think, in the last match also, or the one before that, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it against Hong Kong? Did he bowl?
I think so, right? So he twisted his arm around a bit. He could have taken the ball, or why not even Dasun for that matter? Why at that point had we given up on the game by then? Because it was a weird decision at that point, because okay, you're looking at a slow pitch, you see your spinners except for Wani getting hit, and you're throwing to the most weakest out of the part-time bowlers the ball when you have a couple of better options out there that could have worked better.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at that last over, if that Kamidu over went for only 10 instead of 16, we would have still had a game in hand.
Yeah.
I think we missed the best trick there, and not giving Dasun that over as well.
Another kind of key thing that happened, and I think this is underrated, is the Mustafizur over, which was the 19th over, or no, 18th over, where we, Shanika is set, we're doing well, and we get 5 off of it. One of the things, Mark, you said we were 10 to 15 short. The thing that was frustrating is that we were in position. It wasn't like we batted poorly and we were 10 to 15 short. We were well set up. We were 153 for 4 after 18, right? So you think at that point you want to be at least 175, pushing 180 if you can. And we end at 168. I think there were probably 7 or 8 dot balls in those last 2 overs. There were 4 in the who bowled the Toscan over, and then there was a run out and two wickets in that 18th over, and that really hurt us there, because I was thinking to myself, okay, we push 180, that's a big chase for Bangladesh. 168 is doable. 180 would have been harder.
See, I still think you've got to go into the game thinking, right, this is how we're going to open. These are, and almost like, you need your power play set, and then almost know, right, these are the people I want bowling the last 5 overs. And in the middle, you got to try and figure it out. I think the Kamindu thing is really interesting, because I wonder if, as Sri Lanka fans, there is such a long tradition in Sri Lankan cricket of kind of part-time spinners taking key wickets in big games that goes like all the way back to for anyone can remember, that we kind of project that onto Kamindu and onto Charith as well. And actually both of them, and I was going to say Dillard, but I think he's more of a spinner than the other 2 are. But like Charith has had moments when he's taken big wickets in big key games, right? And we suddenly, someone, the minute I say that, someone just wrote 96 Aravinda, that's it. Look at Sanath, right? You speak to my dad about Sanath Jayasuriya, the first thing he'll tell you is people think he's a batter. He's really an all-rounder, right? That's the kind of legend of Sanath Jayasuriya, right? He's this all-rounder.
He's a bowling all-rounder.
Yeah, I mean,
initially,
of
right?
spinners bowling the last over.
Yeah,
I mean, he was the king of that.
Yeah,
but
that
was a totally different game that tactically that we were playing back then.
See, the thing with those part-timers was Aravinda, Sanath, these guys were regularly bowling.
Yes,
as
100%.
Regularly bowling at least 3 to 5 overs in an ODI back in the day,
and regularly,
right?
10 regularly 10.
Regularly 10. You can't bring in a guy in a key match like this, and when it's crunch time to fill in that over, who's not bowled a single ball in this tournament, and throw in a ball and say, handle the pressure. No way.
Not prepared for that. I 100% agree. I think
because there are a lot of things. I mean, I agree with the fact that we didn't score as much as we should have in the last 3 overs. But see, a bowler can always bowl a good over. Those are not in our control. But what's in our control are the decisions we make. And a couple of the decisions today, I think Charith kind of lost his point on a couple of the decisions that kind of could have tipped the game, because end of the day, Bangladesh batted really well. We can't take that out of them. Saif, magnificent innings. He kept the game alive for them. They took it to the end, but we missed a trick, and we could have stolen this game from them. Is where I stand up because of how it went through, and we missed a trick.
Do you know what? The one thing I realised, right? Sri Lankan cricket is special, and I know this from that final over, right? Because if you're a Sri Lankan fan, and the minute that first wicket goes down, you're like, this is on. I'm sitting there. So for me, my routine is when it's on, if they're playing well, I don't move, I don't touch, I don't talk to my wife, I don't type. I just look at the way I'm looking. I can see messages coming in from all over the world of people watching the game. I'm like, I'm not moving. And I still thought, even when they got parity with us, I was still like,
man.
super over. Pastor Kusa got to smash it around.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking that in my head. I was like, okay, so who do you get to bowl the super over? Who do you get to bat?
Yeah.
Who are you going to pick to bat? And
I was sitting on the edge of the bed on the line. I was like, okay, in my head, I'm saying Dasan's going to get a hat trick. Let's go positive.
And even when they ran, even when I saw them running, I was like, shit, man, if they'd thrown bowlers in, they definitely would have got a run out there. And they would have taken it to the last ball, right? And then who knows what would have happened, right? Last ball, new batter in. Oh, that is when I was just like, look, we've lost today. I'm absolutely gutted about it, but this team, this side is something special, and it's not just. It was a special group in '96, special group in the 2010s. That magic runs through us, man. Like, and then like when Dustin Sharnaker came up to bowl that final over, I was so gutted for him, right? Because I don't think there's a player in. Maybe Bardaka, right? In recent years, who just is so maligned. When he's good, he's unbelievably good. Today he was absolutely brilliant, right? Exactly. And he comes and bowls that over, and it's. I remember when he was captain, he used to bowl that final over all the time.
All the time.
And you always felt it was because somehow this wasn't meant to happen, but it's happened. And he'll come in, and there was a few times he saved us, right? And you're like, Dustin Sharnaker is a part-time bowler. But my gosh, when he puts the shirt on, right? Some people that I'm sure online there'll be a lot of idiots who are angry with the way he bowled that final over today, right? But my gosh, that man, he will do anything for his country, man. Well, absolutely anything. Give it his all.
I think you say part-time bowler, big game player.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
He is a big game player, and I thought he was ready for the fight, which is great, and I think he's bowled well, which is again a big plus to Sri Lanka, especially because they're going to be playing this World Cup in India and Sri Lanka, right? And to Hello's point, I was thinking about the Madhushanka over from 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh, this is it. And you know, but I think we've got. I do believe in this side. I think the parts are there. We just got to put it together right. I think we've got that. This is not a 2017 team that or 2019 team that doesn't have the parts. Let's try to just be positive and step back for a second, because this is not the World Cup, right? That's what we're gearing up for. We're building towards that World Cup. Pathum and Kusal have been excellent. Showed great intent today in the power play. Dawson was back in form. Asalanka has looked better the last few matches. You've got Nuwan Tushara, who I think if you, apart from Bumrah, the guy you want to take that ball first over, he's the guy. He's the number one guy in the world for me. No one else does that first over like him. Dushmantha Chamira is back at his best, bowling well. And there are really, like, we really have, and of course we have Wani. We have 6 or 7 guys who are absolutely locked in. It's just around, you know, the edges of the side that we need to kind of tighten up. We've got to get that 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th player locked in so that we can go forward, because we're getting a lot of people to contribute. We just got to do that last bit.
You know, I think world cricket has. I'm going to get some stick for this. World cricket has.
I'll put this up as soon as. Hold on. As soon as this, as this show's finished, I'm clipping whatever you're about to say up, Shabney, and put it out there online. Right, go for it.
India,
this is how we get views,
Australia, England are the posters of cricket. They're the ones who are supposed to be, or they're the ones who are marketed mostly around the world. I think Sri Lanka is the perfect team to market around the world because if any game we play the smaller side or the bigger side, it's a game to watch. We know how to take it to the end. We
pure
make the
entertainment.
match, win or lose, man. The last 3 years, even the losses, except for these 2-3 huge losses that we've had, are close losses.
Yeah.
Right, and even the wins are close wins. We are the perfect marketing tool for cricket because of how we keep our fans on the edge.
You see, I exactly agree with you, and I always thought coming out of COVID was going to be really tough for Sri Lanka, right? Because they hadn't played cricket for a while, and we were rebuilding a new team anyway, right? And it's like if you look at that transition from 2020 to where we are now, where it was like someone hello just said the most perfect thing. Sri Lanka is carrying the spirit of cricket. I think,
Perfect,
like
yes.
for
We
sure,
are
the
the
spirit of cricket lives underneath Gaul. Like that's where the spirit of cricket lives, right? Gaul Fort, Gaul International Ground,
And dances to the papare.
Yeah, exactly.
We play hard, we party hard.
Since 2020, Sri Lanka have kind of re-emerged out of COVID. They've rebuilt a team that went around the world, learned how to play cricket again, and now we're seeing a team that is kind of competing with almost everyone. And now the next transition is to get back to where we once were. And I totally back us, man. Like,
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Look at the talent that we're starting to see emerge, right? If it's just figuring. The frustrating thing it's just getting it right, isn't it? I think even the mentality. You look at that last over, all the boys in like trying to stop the one, and you're like, we are so close to this.
Yes,
we are so
they
close
didn't
to
give
this.
up.
No,
One run out of 5 balls, and they were still going for it.
Yeah,
unbelievable. There's a question come in. Do we have a chance against India? Well, there's always a chance against
Hell
India.
yes.
Yeah. I believe in
Hell
Sri Lanka,
yeah.
man. Like,
Yeah.
These guys...
After I saw that Oman game, yes, we definitely have a chance with India.
Exactly. Almost, Savina said, almost every team we are competing this includes associate and full members. Yeah, we're like...
Look, we're serving cricket around the world. You want your side to look good, right? You want something good to happen? Play us. You'll get your confidence up no matter what.
We're hospitable.
Yeah, I think the India game will be interesting. Obviously, this India side is incredibly talented. And this is going to sound absolutely ridiculous. But if we play 5 bowlers against them, I think there's a good chance that we could potentially get them for a lower score. The batting lineup could go for 300. I'm just going to be clear. I do think this is a brilliant batting lineup that can score 300 runs against us. At the same time, I could imagine a world where we get them out for not that much. Now, beyond that, their bowling is like, you're not going to get any freebies. We're talking about Bumrah. We're talking about Varun Chakravarti, Kuldeep Yadav, Aksar Patel, right? So that's going to be a big test, and it'll be really interesting to see how our batters play. But I can imagine India having a bad day. They are a much better side than us, and let no one even pretend like I'm saying we're close. But there is a world where we can beat them.
Yes, definitely. There is.
I believe. Tushar Lakshan, we always do this. We almost lost to Hong Kong, lost to Bangladesh. Now we're going to beat both India and Pakistan. That's just the way we roll, man. We're there for the. We like being David. We don't like being Goliath. That's the only way I can put it.
Exactly.
About Bangladesh. Okay, I know Tawad is a really nice guy. Okay, but we put these fellows into the Super Fours, and this is how they repay us. Also, I don't understand this.
But I don't know what you want them to do. Turn up and just roll over.
Yeah, that's what I want them to do. You know, we rolled out the mat for them already. Come on, return the favor. Here's the other thing though. I think it's ridiculous that the first match of this Super Fours, both teams play a team they've already played. Like that's absurd. That's
Exactly. I was also wondering. Yeah, I thought they would have just continued with the two teams that didn't play, but
Yeah.
it just kind of doesn't make sense, right? This format is a bit messed up.
It's all around India, Pakistan, isn't it? It's like trying to get that
Yeah.
game on a Sunday to maximize TV
You
viewership.
rather
and all that.
have the same format they have for the ODI World Cup, have all teams play against each other, and then take the top 4 teams to a semi, and then the finals.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say is, right, and don't misunderstand me, I think it's great to support associate cricket, but quite early on, the associates kind of drop out of that, and then you've just got this situation where there's just like endless Oman versus UAE games and UAE versus Hong
and they're
Kong.
both out of the tournament.
And they're both out of the tournament. That's the thing for me, that where I'm like, this is like, it's not a waste of time for those players and the fans, and it's good for the cricket there, but it's not good for the kind of overall package of it, is it?
We saw how India played Oman. They that was shout out to Oman for fighting, but I thought it was a little disrespectful what India did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of dragged that game a bit, didn't they?
Yeah. Guys, should we leave it there? Shabney, me and you we're going to go to this game, aren't we? We're going to go to Sri Lanka versus Australia in Colombo, right? For the Women's World Cup.
Yes, we'll do that.
We'll do that. If you want to join us, let us know, or just get your tickets.
Have a mutton roll for me.
Yeah, like mutton rolls, papare, like we'll have plenty of drinks. If you drink, if you don't drink, we can be at the tambale. And the one of my favorite things in Sri Lanka is the Fanta. It will give me diabetes, but at least I'll be diabetic and happy. I'm all in on it. I think my flight arrives in the I need to check. I think it's about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning in Sri Lanka. So hopefully there's no delays and I get there on time. But
you're there that day.
Yeah, so I'm leaving London on the 3rd because I've got to do my real job on the 1st and 2nd, and then I'll arrive sometime in the morning. Hopefully there's no delays.
Mark, we have a potential special guest
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, who's that?
Estelle asked if she wanted to make an appearance.
Yeah. Please.
I want to hear Estelle's point of view.
Captain, should we let you go because you've been with us for
man.
Quite
you guys
a while.
Continue. Yeah.
Also, what time is it there? About 2 o'clock in the morning or something?
Yeah, this is my time. I've been working US times for the last 20 plus years, man.
So you're on my schedule. I'm
on your schedule.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Speak to you soon.
Guys.
See you. Hey, Esty, how's it going?
How
Esty,
was that?
Just so you know, we have talked ourselves back into winning the World Cup here. So don't worry.
Is that the direction this has gone in?
Yeah. This is just another loss on the road for us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I assume you guys. It was just once again the combination, right?
Yep.
How much runs are you gonna get from Velalage at 9?
Yeah.
Versus what are you gonna get out of Mahesh Tekshana if he plays this game, right? It doesn't make sense. I mean, I hope see that. I know we love Velalage on Murali Pod. We love him, right?
Yeah.
He's not your second best spinner in this squad.
Exactly.
That at the end of the day, that's what it is, right?
He should be playing as the 5th bowler. That's what his role should be. He should be playing as the 5th bowler and batting 8 in your lineup, right? That's fine. But we were saying, Estelle, the 5th bowler plays every match. The 7th, 8th batter. How often do they play a big role? And it's
and at the end of the day, if you are expecting like significant contributions from your 8 and 9, then that means your batters aren't doing the job, right?
Yeah.
That means your batters aren't doing the job. Then you need changes up the order. If you're expecting like Hasaranga and Vanindu to come and bail you out. So, the combinations are crazy. I think they have to look at Chamika Karunaratne at some point, right? Because that gives you, actually, he's a better batter than better batter in the sense that he would provide more power lower down the order than Adunith Velalage, and probably give you better overs as well, because medium pacer he'd be harder to hit.
Yeah. He's, I feel like Estelle, that again, that's a spot on point, because the power play, that the last over of the power play, they've been struggling to find someone to bowl that, and Chamika would be good. Slower bouncers, all that stuff, and then it breaks up this long left-hander thing. Do you think when they make those changes, we talked about Kamil Mishara. What are your thoughts on Kamil Mishara? Because we've seen the good and the bad. When he gets in, he can look really good and score big runs. But when he doesn't make runs, it's not pretty.
Yeah. The thing is, he just seems to take like 10, 15 deliveries to get started, right? And what happens is, if he gets out in that period, then you basically, like today, he's wasted 2 overs, right, for 5 runs. And in that middle period where Sri Lanka really struggled, I think they got to 50 in the 6th over and got to 100 in the 14th over. So that middle period really killed them. And I mean, I'm coming in from the good areas live when we were talking about it, like how, Sri Lanka ended with 160 thanks to good finish from Shanaka. But actually, that kind of covers up for the fact that they didn't bat well in those middle overs, right? It's like Afghanistan in the other game, that 32-run over made up for the fact that they just didn't make enough runs in the middle overs. So 160 from that position looks good, but actually it wasn't enough on that track, because it didn't seem like anything was happening off the track, right?
Yeah, I think there's big issues around setting scores in our side, and that's a kind of almost a psychological thing where they're like, this team is built to chase, but that's the one thing. That's one of many things in cricket, I suppose, that you can't.
And you can't defend that. You can't defend a total with 4 bowlers or 3.5 bowlers. Right?
Exactly. You're not in position. That's precisely it. And I think one of the and the other thing about Kamil Mishara's 2 overs is it cost Kusal Mendes his wicket, because it was clear he felt the pressure and he tried to play this big release shot. And then now you have a guy who's in, out, and Kamil Mishara gets out.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go back to the early thing you said, SD.
I think this is it, right? Like, take out Kamil, put Pereira at 3, bring in the extra bowler. They've got to take that risk, I think.
What about Charath at 3? That was another thing we kind of discussed. Because I feel like he's being wasted a bit at 6.
And he did kind of get into the T20 side in that World Cup in Australia, like really going after the bowling at 3, right? And giving that momentum.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to what you said about the bowling. Could you imagine if any other country in the world, if they had 2 of the most effective bowlers in the IPL, not to play them in Asian conditions?
I understand the Pathirana pick, though, to be honest, right? Because he's been all over the place over the last year or so. And I think even in domestic cricket, he struggled. And we saw that in that game he played, where the moment he's hit for a boundary, he loses all control, his direction goes off, and then the wides and the no balls and everything comes in. So I understand the Pathirana call. I think Theekshana, it's just that you have to see beyond the fact that he doesn't pick up wickets, because his role is different, right? If in this game, 6 no wickets for 24, you would have taken from your spinner, right?
Yeah.
You would have taken that defending a total. So and he's bowling the toughest overs, right?
Yeah. And he could bowl at the death, right? We tried to switch in Will Alagay for Theekshana. That's not going to happen. And we saw Wani plays a very different role. He's not allowed to attack because he's got to stem the run flow and take wickets. And that's just too much to ask from anyone.
Yeah.
Except maybe
Chamira has been quick, but has been going for runs, right? Like last game as well, he went for plenty. And he's not picking up the early wickets, which luckily Tushar has been able to do in the last few games. So it's worrying, because what are the options? You either bring in Minro Fernando or Pathirana, or you bring in Theekshana for Velalage. I still think you have to give Chamika a shot in this competition, because you don't want to waste a guy who's been in really good form, right?
Yeah.
At this point, it shouldn't be Shanaka or Chamika. it
And
was
you have
that.
enough.
I think that was the case, but
Yeah.
I don't think that is anymore.
And you have guys who all strike at about 140, right? Like you're not the thing that you're doing when you're playing 7 batters is you're not getting an extra guy in who's striking at 200. You're getting
Exactly.
another guy who's just like all the other guys that you're
Mhm.
batting. So the marginal difference, especially with the difference between Chamika, right? Like an over
Yeah.
from Chamika versus an over from Kamindu Mendes. It's just like we're not even on the same thing. But you can imagine Chamika playing a knock somewhat close to Kamindu Mendes.
Yeah.
It's poor analysis of value.
And also, to me, he's a better bowler than Villalage or Shanaka, right? And he adds a bit of batting. So
yeah, and I think on this pitch he would have been good. He would have bowled like that back of the
Yeah.
length to the whatever the
Mhm.
longer side was, and they wouldn't have been able to get him away for big runs.
I still think, and I said this earlier, but for people joining late like Estelle, firstly, that's fine. Secondly, remember to follow us on Instagram. And also you can listen to all of this pod as all of this show as a podcast in your audio apps whenever in a few hours' time. I still think, in a way, for me, it's all about what do we learn from this, and I think we learned a lot about this team today. I think we're showing good character. I think we've identified where it went wrong in the batting, and we've kind of identified that we've been talking. The three of us have been talking about this for what feels like weeks now. Is that we're just getting the numbers around who's bowling and how what we kind of offer as bowling wrong, right? So what I want to see, sometimes I feel like a teacher, like is I want to see us adapting and learning from this, right? Because actually, in the last 3-4 months since we've been back playing international cricket, I'm seeing this team learn and adapt, right? 2 weeks ago, we were all out for 80. Today, we're not able to defend 168. We can keep improving. It's got to be kind of gradual improvement. There's as I've always said, it wasn't about the Asia Cup. It was about the World Cup and being competitive there, right? And AKD waving at Estelle in the press box in Ahmedabad. Have you booked your hotel to Ahmedabad yet, Esty?
Sorry?
Have you booked a hotel for Ahmedabad yet?
No, I've only just booked the ones in Guwahati for the women.
Oh, have you? Oh, right.
Where's the final for? I was going to ask, is it also?
It's in Mumbai.
It's in Mumbai.
I mean, unless Pakistan makes it, then it'll be in Colombo. But
well, we know Estelle has booked her hotel in Mumbai.
Yep.
Knowing our lockdown.
Although I don't have my visa yet, so.
Yeah, I'm sure that. Yeah.
If
I
it doesn't
shouldn't,
come through, Estelle,
I shouldn't say this publicly, but the last time I applied for a visa to India, my mother is born there.
I haven't applied. I haven't applied yet.
Okay, fine.
We haven't gotten accreditation yet, so.
Oh, okay. So there's a long way to go. There's a road the road to Guwahati.
There's a week to go for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Oof. We should talk about the fact that they still haven't played any games yet.
It's absolutely
yes. They're only playing the warm ups. I think 25th.
Well,
yeah.
You know what was interesting, Estelle? You've been following, I'm sure, the India Australia series, and there are like
a score of 400 today.
Score 400. Oh my gosh! Wait, who? Australia? I was going to say they look slightly. I was going to say they look slightly beatable in the past couple matches, and then of course. The match I don't look at, they score 400. Of course, great job by me.
I believe in Charmery and the Diamonds. We've got this. Don't worry. Look, when they're playing in Colombo, there's going to be a 12th,
and Mark's going to be there, right?
I'm going to be there. It's going to be amazing. Well, as you two both know, my wife's Australian, so it's going to be an emotional day for her watching her team lose. But like it'll be all good. We'll buy into it. Savinas asked, can we call in Favez Maroof to the show? Yeah, let's get him on. Everyone is welcome at Murali End. It's like it works a little bit like the way democracy works in Athens, right, Dom? Like,
Yeah. Anyone, well, except we have women contributing, so that's
Oh, yeah.
that's a major difference.
yeah. So yeah, what did Favez say? What have I missed?
He's the Crick Info.
He's at ESPN, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Oh, right. So yeah. Sorry, I thought he'd said something controversial, but yeah, he must be live somewhere as well. Shakib, welcome here. Look, guys, we have boundaries, right? Like, not everyone. Very much the Persians to our Athens, right? I was going to say something. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Right, so we're getting ready for Sri Lanka to win. World Cup's loading. I do think. I think the point I'm trying to make is I just want to see what they do, how they react to this.
Mhm.
Right, that for me is the key thing. Because Sri Lankan cricket can at times be too reactionary. I could just, one loss can trigger all sorts of new captains, new coaches, the whole new 11s. Jeevan Mendes is nervously looking at his phone for the text. Like, who knows what? I just don't want them to overreact, right? Losing the game narrowly.
I don't think they will just yet.
Yeah.
I think but I will say that Sanath looked mad. He looked really mad. When they turned to him on the screen after the match. But I think I will say I feel kind of bad for Charith. To get back to what Estelle was saying, you have 3.5 bowlers and you're marshalling a chase and you're not getting the wickets. You're in a really hard position. So of course you're going to get slammed for bowling Kamindu, but that could have happened to Chanaka. It could have happened to himself. He didn't have someone to turn to. So I guess one of the things I've been thinking, I have been a little frustrated with Charith's captaincy, but I think he's not yet being put in a position where he can captain well.
I'm trying to think. Well, because the thing what we don't know is how much input does he
Of a
have.
say
in the
he
team.
has. Yeah.
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 So
I don't think it's much. That's my personal opinion, though.
Yeah,
he defends the 11, right? It sounds to me like he's behind it.
Sanath's the coach, right? I don't think there's anyone who overrules Sanath in that side. Because, but
So
to Dom's point, I think
what I've heard though about Sanath as a coach is actually he is open to other ideas. I mean that the person who told me that could be talking nonsense. I don't know, but I think Sanath might come across as my way or the highway. But I also think, I mean, if you look at the people he's got around him, right? And whenever we think about who the analyst might be or not be, and their background, he's actually put together a team around him of people who do think about cricket games and how to win cricket games. It isn't just old school coaches who are just trying to teach kind of a orthodoxy, right? It's people who kind of have a slightly wider view of how the game is played. So that's what makes me think like maybe Sanath isn't quite as uncle-like as we like to assume he is, right?
You think you would say okay to playing 3.5 bowlers? I feel like that like if Charith goes to him and says, okay, this is my bowling. If I was the coach, I'd say, no, we need another bowling option. He has to be okay with that.
So I assume that they've figured out like they must be having their reasoning. So I think this is what I find frustrating, at least, and I assume you two guys do as well, is that they never come out and tell us the reasoning for the 11. So we're all. I think part of this is that because sports journalism is access based, and it's like if you are someone who's close to the team, you can't really question their decisions. And in South Asian culture, you just don't have that kind of culture around sports journalism about kind of asking kind of tough questions. Where, I mean, if you watch some of the press conferences that happen with the English cricket team, they get journalists pull their pants down a little bit because they kind of go, well, what happens if this happens? Where with Sri Lanka, I don't think you can do that. It's a bit more. It's all around whether or not you'll be able to get your quotes regularly, which is, why I think it's important that fans like us have a kind of say about, what's going on. Because I think in a way it kind of creates at the far end of the press room, it kind of creates the debate, because otherwise you speak to a lot of Sri Lankan journalists and they'll be like, this is the plan, this is what was meant to happen, and it's like, yeah, but it was clear that there was always going to be a case where you're going to run out of bowlers, right? Anybody who watches a lot of cricket tells you any given day one of your bowlers will have a bad day. So what do you do then? You can go back and look at all the World Cup finals we've lost, and in every single one of them there's been one bowler who's had a bad day. So you can be like, that is a repeatable pattern that happens. Let's try and compensate for that. Because I think there's too much groupthink. So if one of the coaches comes to Sanath and goes, our problem is middle order not getting runs, and part of that is because we're scared. The batters are scared to go at it because they don't want to lose their wickets. Because if we collapse, we collapse quite catastrophically. So therefore, we need to put an extra batter in. And he's got a whole reasoning behind it, and there's no one else to really question it or push back on it. Then that's how you end up in a position of this kind of weird way where we know our strength's bowling, but now we've got four bowlers, so we're really not really resilient at all to anything going wrong when we've got to defend a total or bowl against a batter in form. So yeah, that's my little rant over for the way Sri Lankan cricket is run. Like, one of many. This would be really good therapy for me though, Estelle. I came on it and I was really quite sad. I was almost crying.
Yeah.
And now I feel a lot better about the whole thing. I feel I've talked myself into hope.
Yeah. Say, this is the one benefit of doing this show is we get to get all of our. It's like it is a therapy session,
and it's immediately after the game, right?
So just flush it so you can move on.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to enjoy what's left of my evening, and but like not be too caught up with the result. It's going to be a struggle to make the Asia Cup final, but I'm confident Sri Lanka will find a way because that's what we do, right, Esty?
Yeah, I mean, there's still 2 games to go, right? So never you can never say what will happen. Oman nearly beat India yesterday, right? I know India batted Sky at 11 or something, but
and also Pakistan can beat Bangladesh. This is not like, I don't think that is hoping against hope to think that you basically have Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh all beat one another, and then it just be a net run rate bet.
Yep.
Guys, should we leave it there for today? Hello, just said
to leave it.
Yeah. We'll finish with this. Therapy is expensive. Thank God Murali End is free on YouTube. It is, and will continue to be free as long as you hit that subscribe button. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I hope that hasn't ruined your weekend. Sri Lankan cricket will rise again. When's the Pakistan game?
Tuesday.
We will rise again on Tuesday. I mean, that's all we can do, right? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We've been Murali End. We've enjoyed it. See you all later. Bye.
It's the Murali End. You're in the place to be. Analyze the players and the team. Keep a great company in the stream.
It's a Murali End. Welcome to the show. We're here when you're high. We're here when you're low. Some days you're happy, some days you wanna when happy it's we, when mad it's them. It's the same place, Murali End. Sri Lanka cricket we go represent. So tell a friend.